Welcome to this preview of the March edition of The Banker. My name is Brian Caplen, editor of The Banker. I'm here with Matthew Karwacki, who is our data editor. As the March edition is our special Latin American issue, we're publishing a ranking of the top 100 Central American banks using data from the Banker's database. So Matthew, you worked on the ranking of the top 100 Central American banks. What have been the key points of the ranking this year?
Well, the most important point is that Panama remains the banking powerhouse of Central America. The country is the host to more than half of the banking assets
of
in
the
our
whole
ranking.
region. Okay, and I think that you noticed that foreign-owned banks based in Panama are doing especially well at the moment. Is that right?
They are. Historically, it's been Colombians who've been making foray into Panama. You know, BAC took over HSBC, which used to be the biggest bank there, but now some other smaller banks are doing well, like Banco Santander and Bank of China, Panama.
And I think they've increased their capital quite a lot. Is that right?
Assets and capital, yes. They've made huge leaps, over 100%.
Okay, now you look after all the data stories for The Banker. We have some online, we have some in the magazine, and you recently did a story looking at the impact, or the likely impact, of having a bank levy in Poland. Now we've already seen a number of bank levies, particularly in Hungary. I mean, what is the Polish levy going to look like, and what sort of impact will it have on the banking sector?
Well, bank levy is not unprecedented. It's here in the UK, but it only taxes bank liabilities instead of total assets.
Yeah.
So Poland only has Hungary to as an example.
And what's the difference then? If you tax assets rather than liabilities, does that have a more impact on the sector as a whole?
Absolutely, it has a much bigger impact because it encourages banks to reduce their balance sheets and reduce their lending.
I mean, there was a huge outcry about the levy in Hungary by the banks when it came along. Yeah. I mean, are we getting the same sort of pushback from the banks operating in Poland?
Well, obviously, yes. It has pushed the banks into the red in Hungary, and banks in Poland are also expecting that it will cut down their profits by a lot.
Okay. All right. Now, you've looked at some of the implications from a data point of view, and you're also planning to do a story on alternative Tier 1 capital, which has become a bit of an issue at the moment, hasn't it? So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, additional Tier 1 is an interesting issue because it's a recent instrument and it's quite complex. So investors are not quite sure what to do with it. So the issuance has gone down recently, but it seems that the worst case scenario, which is that debt being bailed in, is still some ways off.
And this refers to the so-called COCOs, doesn't it? Where you basically issue a bond, and under certain circumstances, it could convert into equity. But I think, you know, the data that you've come up with shows that we're a long way from that kind of scenario. Is that right?
Yes. For example, Deutsche Bank issues 5.125 trigger COCOs.
Yeah. So you'd have to have that amount of capital before it would have to go down that low before it triggered the COCO.
That's right. But currently, according to data from Fitch, it's 388 basis points, according to end of 2015 figures from that, which is quite a comfortable.
So is the market getting in a flap about nothing on these COCOs then?
When it comes to possibility of converting debt into equity or write-downs, I would say yes, but there is also a possibility of missed coupon payments, like in case of Deutsche Bank, which actually had to come forward and assure the investors that they were able to meet their obligations.
Okay, thank you very much, Matthew. We look forward to reading your story.